Welcome to Life Habitachin. B'ezrat Hashem. Today I'd like to go back to our old tradition of learning something on Thursday in preparation for Shabbos Kodesh. I recently got a beautiful book called Nefesh Shimshon, written by Rabbi Shimshon David Pinkus, Shechina, about Shabbos Kodesh. So I'd like to share with you something from here. He writes that one of the most beautiful aspects of Shabbos is greeting and receiving Shabbos when it begins and escorting it out when it ends. No Yom Tov or any other special time receives a welcome like this. It is only on the holy day of Shabbos that we have the special mitzvah of Kabbalah Shabbos, when we greet Shabbos Queen. We address her as if she were a person and say, Boy Kala, Shabbos Malkasa. And when Shabbos ends, we escort her out with a special meal called the Malava Malka, the escorting of the queen. Perhaps there is a mitzvah to eat a meal after Yom Tov too, but that meal isn't called a Malava Malka. Only Shabbos do we escort and address as queen. Chazal frequently refer to Shabbos as a definite being. For example, it says in Bereshis Rabbah 11:8, Shabbos said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shel Olam, to all of them you gave a mate. Each of the weekdays, of which there are an even number, pairs off with another, forming a couple. But I have no mate. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to her, Knesset Yisrael is your mate. We see that Shabbos conducts itself as a person. She comes and leaves, she speaks up and makes claims. We honor her and take care not to insult her. And according to Sefer Yereim, there is a special mitzvah of fearing Shabbos. We are to be in fear and awe of her greatness, as it says in Siman 4:10. But what is the meaning of all this? Why is Shabbos in particular treated as an actual individual? We refer to Shabbos as a guest in our home. None of the Yom Tovim or other mitzvahs are depicted as personalities besides Shabbos. Tefillin is a mitzvah. Mezuzah is a mitzvah. And Pesach and Shavuos are also mitzvahs. Shabbos is a personality. If so, let us understand who is Shabbos. Whom are we welcoming when the sun sets on Friday? We are not asking what is Shabbos, rather we're asking who is Shabbos. The Brisker Rav, Shechina, wrote something astounding about Shabbos, about Kabbalah Shabbos. This reception ceremony is actually learned from what took place when the Jewish people stood at Har Sinai, he writes. There, the Jewish people greeted and received the Shechina in the same manner that a king is greeted and received. He explains that there are three halachos of Kabbalah Shabbos, resembling the three instructions given to the Jews when they received the Shechina at Har Sinai. First one of them is that it says, they shall wash their garments. When one comes to greet the king, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, one must don nice clothing in his honor. Another one is, and it says, and they shall be ready for the third day. When Hashem arrives, one must be ready as if a great king were expected to arrive. One should be sitting and waiting for Hashem, lest he arrive while we are busy with other matters. And the third one, it says, Moshe brought the people out to greet Hashem. There is a special halacha we have that we need to go out and greet the Shechina. These three halachas, says the Brisker Rav, apply to Kabbalah Shabbos as well. The first is to don nice clothing. Men observe this halacha pretty well because they're usually dressed in Shabbos clothing when Shabbos arrives. But it is important for women to know about this halacha as well. Often, a woman is still dressed in a simple weekday robe when she lights Shabbos candles. But really, by the time Shabbos begins, we should already be wearing our finest clothing. We shouldn't put them on just for the meal, because at the time of candle lighting, the Shechina is already arriving. The second halacha is not to be busy when Shabbos arrives. This is something men should know. many men utilize the moments before candlelighting to take care of last-minute details. They're busy putting muktzah items away and completing various small tasks. But this is not the proper way. One should be sitting and waiting for Shabbos Kodesh to arrive. The Rambam also speaks about this, and he says in Mishneh Torah, Hilchos Shabbos 32, it says, and one should be sitting respectfully and looking forward to greeting Shabbos as one would go to greet the king. And the third halacha is to go out to greet Shabbos. Boi v'neitzei likras skala. The Rambam says about this, and he writes, the earlier sages would gather their Talmidim on Erev Shabbos and don their cloaks and say, come, let us go out to greet Shabbos, the king. Our generation is not accustomed to doing this. If we were to go out into the streets as they are today, it's not Shabbos we would find there. Nevertheless, we can and should find Shabbos within our homes. So why is it that we have the special halacha of Kabbalah Shabbos, greeting Shabbos? There are two kinds of mitzvahs. The majority of mitzvahs, such as eating matzah or putting on tefillin, fall into the first category. When we fulfill these mitzvahs, the main focus is that we are doing as Hashem commanded. But there is another kind of mitzvah. For example, there is a mitzvah that says 3 times a year, all your males shall appear before Hashem, your Hashem, in the place He will choose. It says in Chumash and Dvarim. This is the mitzvah of coming to the Beis HaMikdash for the Sholosh HaGolim, in order to see Hashem's presence and be seen by Hashem. Here, fulfilling the mitzvah is more than just doing as Hashem commanded. It is actually greeting and receiving Hashem's presence. It is a personal relationship with Hashem. So it is with Kabbalah Shabbos. It is the main mitzvah in which we develop a personal relationship with Hashem. When we greet Shabbos, we are actually greeting the Shechina. Some commentaries explain that when we say the words boy kala in the period of Lachadodi, the word kala refers to Shabbos itself. Others say that kala refers to the Shechina. But in truth, it's the same thing. Greeting Shabbos is greeting the Shechina. And therefore, we should keep that in mind. Shabbos Kodesh is coming to our home, and Hashem Himself is knocking at our door. So we should be mindful and keep that in mind. Some people recite Shir HaShirim when Shabbos begins. What's the idea behind this custom? The main theme of Shir HaShirim is, as it says, may He kiss me with the kisses of His mouth. As when Shabbos arrives in our home, Hashem comes with Shabbos. And we want to express how happy we are that He came. The Kedusha of Shabbos completely transforms us and our home. We welcome Shabbos, and we become like a Kohanim in the Beis HaMikdash. The moment that creates this tremendous transformation is at the moment we welcome Shabbos and usher her in. Greeting Shabbos is a glorious moment, a moment of may He kiss me with the kisses of His mouth, in which every Jew receives a kiss from Hashem. But just at that special moment, the children are wandering around and with nothing to do. So we should sit them next to their fathers in shul or next to their mothers at home, listening to the stories of Shabbos in the homes of tzaddikim, because these are very special moments. Thank you for joining. I wish you all an enjoyable Shabbos.